Rats. Happy weekend, people. Happy Sunday. Sunday weekly breakdown, weekly forecast is upon us. I've been obviously quite busy last week doing bits and pieces. But let's go over the markets, how the weekly closed, and what we might expect next week. You know, what news is out, all that sort of stuff. We are coming to the end of the month. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 31st is on Friday. So we'll have, you know, the weekly and the monthly close on Friday, which is nice. I don't really like it when it's sort of in the middle of the week. You get the monthly close, and then, you know, you've then got a new weekly open, like on the Wednesday or something, and then another weekly close. It all makes, like, it all gets a bit confusing. But yeah, let's have a look and see how stuff closed and what we might expect next week. I'll start with gold because obviously, everyone fucking wants gold. Everyone doesn't really care about anything else but gold. We did end the week as I had predicted on Friday. I said how, you know, we were sort of green on the week and we were still above sort of this level here. Again, when I'm using like levels, these are just levels that I've had printed on the charts for, you know, a good fucking 4 or 5 months, right? So these might not be the same levels as you have, but these are just my levels that I work with gold. I wouldn't say they've got any sort of specific, what's the word? Like significance to them. They're just what I see on, you know, higher time frames and lower time frames, okay, being sort of areas that price seems to be reacting from, staying within, all that sort of jazz. So last week we did come up tapping into this area here. We failed to get anywhere close to sort of the previous this previous high over here around 34.52, I think it is 51 area. Before completely collapsing back down, right? Don't know the significance behind that. Don't know why it happened. We had what looked to be quite a strong week at the beginning. So the very early part of the week, we were looking very, very strong and bullish. And then things just flipped, right? This is what I don't like about gold, okay? And this is why I try to pull you guys away from trading gold all the time, because you know, you can be looking at a very solid, like, bullish week, and then all of a sudden, within the matter of a day or two, the market can plummet, you know, 500, 600, 700 pips in one day. Pairs don't move like that. Pairs don't move 700, 800 pips in one day, you know, in one direction. They'll do it over the course of the day, do you know what I mean? Like, consolidating, moving up, coming back down a little bit, blah, blah, blah. Gold moves thousands and thousands of pips every single day, okay? And this is where the volatility can, you know, basically just fuck you guys over. So we ended up, I said that I believed on Friday we were having a sell day, right? We were having a bearish day. We were going to continue this kind of pullback, which it did do. I said that, because we were about up here, I think, when I did the video, previous daily low and this daily low here, you know, even this low here, this was Monday's low and this was Friday's low. I said that those, in my kind of opinion, were going to be taken out on Friday, and the week was actually going to flip bearish, sort of creating a inverted hammer, which, if you look on the weekly, it did do. Strong wick to the upside and, you know, a sort of smallish red body. Inverted hammer. You know, obviously I've gone over candlesticks and stuff with the education in the group, so you know, you'll know the difference between inverted and just standard hammer. But we did come back down to this trend, right? This trend line being, you know, still showing that we are in an uptrend on the higher time frame. So the overall trend is still to the upside. But, you know, look back at the last sort of 3 months, 4 months of price action. It is sideways, right? It is trading within this range of, I'd say, 3280 to around about 3400, that sort of region, right? This is, you can see, even these wicks, yes, they're pushing past this area, but the bodies are holding above this region, okay? And it's in a bit of a crucial point right here, because having had the weekly flip bearish and cause an inverted hammer, to me, that just shows that we will be probably looking to sell off a bit further. I would expect this trend to actually get broken this up and coming week, right? And potentially even, you know, even on the monthly wise, you know, we are again failing to close above sort of 3350 or, you know, tapping into the 3400 region. We're just kind of, it's very ugly months right now. It's very indecisive. So it'd be interesting to see how this monthly close. Does it close like this one? I know you probably can't see a lot, but you can see how this monthly right here is a very tiny body, like almost non-existent. It's just a line. Previous month, pretty much the same. So is this going to be another month where we close below this sort of region of 33? This, you know, every single month has kind of been very hasn't had the volume to strongly close above 3300. Okay, so, you know, there is only a week left of the month, so I just personally think that we're going to come back down again, try and take out, I mean, definitely for me, this weekly right here is going to be taken next week. This weekly, we're very close to it. It's only down another sort of 200 odd pips for it to sort of sweep this weekly, and then potentially even sweep this weekly here down at 3282 before maybe closing back above. Do you know what I mean? We might have the weekly sort of cause a wick down, swiping out these lows here, and then actually the body closing above the trend again. Doesn't invalidate the trend line. It just shows that, you know, it's still holding that uptrend with the body closing above. So I do believe that it is going to be another sort of sell week next week, taking this low here and taking this low here, or these lows. And then we'll have to wait and see, you know, it could be another tap into this area of 3200 region before potentially closing back above again. But it's very consolidated price action. I haven't actually seen what news we've got next week. There's not normally a lot coming towards the end of the month. Yeah, not a lot of, I mean, GDP actually looks to be good on Wednesday. Fed interest rate, again, seems to be unchanged. You know, after watching the Powell speech, or Fed Powell speech last week, he did kind of comment on, you know, him being like okay with where inflation and interest rates are, so that they, you know, that makes sense for them looking to be unchanged. Okay, sorry, the weekly close is on the monthly close is on Thursday, not Friday. So we will have a bit of a weird one. There'll be like, yeah, the monthly will open up on the Friday. But we've got some news, GDP and interest rate. So that'll bring some volatility on Wednesday potentially. But if it's to be unchanged, it will just cause another kind of indecisive kind of market when stuff is unchanged. But yeah, that's gold. I would be looking for sells potentially. You know, see how the market opens up on Sunday, or sorry, tonight. Top wick into sort of 34, 45, that sort of region. Depends again what's happened over the weekend. I don't think there's been anything monumental that's happened over the weekend, so, you know, I don't expect there to be any gaps or massive gaps or whatever. But, you know, you never know. You never know. This is why I never hold trades over the weekend that are very close to the entry or whatever, because, you know, the market can open up, gap, and you get swiped out. So yeah, potential top wick into 34, 44, sorry, 33.44, that sort of region. That Friday low is going to get taken regardless. So it being very, very close to here, I would expect, potentially something back into, maybe this sort of area where this 4-hour imbalance is. I am on my laptop, so it's very, very, not slow, but me having to put stuff on the chart is a bit gay. Potential push in, tap in, and then something along the lines of like that. It's just an idea. But yeah, that's gold. Let's see how the weekly's closed on Euro USD closure weekly, pretty bullish. So again, could be seeing another potential push into these highs here, potentially something along the lines of that. Monthly is creating its bottom wick. Yeah, there's two ways that I could look at this monthly. The bottom wick has been formed, filling this bullish month here. It kind of depends. If we close like this monthly here, if we close almost exactly the same, because again, this month here, if you can look, bottom wick was caused at the early part of the month before the monthly actually closed bullish. And then, last month we had another green month, another good bullish push. So if this monthly ends the same as this one, then I would be looking for price again to have another push to the upside. So testing these monthlies here, I think this is why I've had this level on for a while. This 1.19 area. There's three or two. Looks like to be a double top here on the monthlies with a small monthly imbalance above it. This is why I think that I don't think it'll happen this week. I think it'll be more likely next month that we'll have a tap into this area. But 1.19 for me is still on the cards. I don't believe that anything monumental with DXY has happened, that DXY is going to push to the upside. We have got, price on a lot of pairs is still very indecisive because we have got tariffs coming out on the 1st. Depending on what the countries the tariffs come out on and how that is affected, maybe that is what the DXY is waiting on, because, it has been for the last, I'd say, months, been pretty fucking sideways on most stuff. So, but yeah, for me, 1.19, I think is still on the cards for, like I said, either this month's or next month's to tap into this region. So yeah, I'm still kind of bullish on Euro USD. A little bit different on GBP USD. We had a bearish week taking out, bearish week or bearish weeks, whereas you look on this monthly is almost taking out last month's candle. So I'm a little bit flip side. I'm a little bit more on the sell side for GU. I have got this monthly fib from low to high. This is what I believe to be the high of on the monthly time frame. So I would actually be looking for GU to start coming back down to around 130 region, potentially even sort of creating a longer wick to the downside before then closing. That is where I'll be looking to go long on GU. I'm not overly looking to sell the retracement because the markets are pretty fucking a bit weird at the moment. But if you can see here, we had this weekly close, good top wick into sort of this imbalance region here, and then close, even though it's green, what I would consider to be a bearish week. And I think I even put it on the chart that was what I was kind of looking to finish off this head and shoulders that we've got on the daily time frame. So yeah, I would be potentially looking for sells next week on GU. almost kind of having this, or actually maybe not next week. Whenever we're sort of close to the monthly close, I like to wait for the monthly to close to then get more of an indication on what next month's what next month candle is going to potentially look like. If we were to close like this on Thursday, then I would be 100% looking for monthly top wick, and then us continuing to push down, taking out or heading towards this monthly low here, which I presume there's a lot of weeklies. Is that? How did that? I'm pretty sure we did take that weekly low there. Yeah, so just about took that weekly low. So weekly wise, yeah, that weekly low is taken. So yeah, heading towards these lows down here. That is what I would be potentially looking for. It's not a great range, only about 200 pips or so. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those, we've got to break this neckline first. Daily wise, on this head and shoulders, we've got to break this neckline, right? So it all kind of depends on how this monthly closes for me. But that's my idea. I would be looking for sales next month, targeting, a lot of these daily lows, a lot of these weekly lows, to then potentially start gearing up for a good long swing position to the upside. Because my bias hasn't changed on where I believe that GU and EU is going to go. It's just that GU and EU, they work differently, even though they're against the same currency pair. Same with AU. I don't really trade AUD, USD anymore, so I don't really look at it. But that is going to perform differently to what EU does. EU basically, is DXY but flipped upside down. Okay, so if you ever want to know what Euro USD is doing, just do the opposite to what DXY is doing, because it's the same chart upside down. I'm not really going to comment on AUD CAD and NZD CAD purely and solely because I know for a fact that CAD tariffs are soon to come out, whether it's the first. I hope it's the first, because all my investors have got all of their stuff turned off, and a lot of you guys as well that have got your CAD bots should have your shit turned off as well. Definitely, if you've got 0 trades on Monday keep them off, right? 100% keep them off. My personal algorithm on my account, I'm leaving on, because last time I left it on through the first tariffs, and it performed absolutely fine. It didn't get caught in any mess, but I know a lot of guys had their bots still on when CAD tariffs came out, and you got your shit sort of pushed in a little bit. So I would say anything that is still on, make sure it's off before the first. You've still got a week, ish, 4 days, but yeah. I'm hoping that everything comes out on the first, and then I can, the volatility can play out, and then I can turn shit back on. But yeah, AUD CAD, NZD CAD, not really commenting on them. Leave them to do their thing when tariffs come out, and then I can sort of get a bit more of a gauge after that. I think that's about it, to be honest. I've gone over the pairs that I sort of mainly traded, which is GU and EU. I don't really trade gold. I did have a good sort of perspective on gold. Was it last week or the week before? Last week, I think. 22nd. Yeah, so the week just gone about gold having a buy position on gold. I just don't trade gold. Right, and I know a lot of people are sort of, why you don't trade it if you do well on it, blah, blah, blah. I just think there's more. I don't want to be like everybody else, to be honest. Don't get me wrong. I take some positions on gold and I don't tell anybody about them or whatever, because it does produce a lot of volatility and a lot of pips in a small amount of time. but I never post any of it because every motherfucker trades gold, and I don't think anybody else trades anything else, right? I much prefer to be different to the masses and post shit about, you know, GU, EU, NZD CAD, AUD CAD, USD CAD, GJ. I've taken GJ off my charts, I think. Yeah, GJ's gone again. GJ's in the bin after the just bollocks last week. But yeah, that's about it. Guys in the group, I am going to be doing two videos today. One, psychology. So the mindset, mental, all that sort of stuff to do with trading. Because I don't think I've done a video on that in this group, and I believe it is very, very fucking important, if not more important than you sat there learning about trend lines, support and resistance, all that sort of stuff, and balances. Because if you've not got that, doesn't matter what fucking strategy you've got, you're going to fail. And whatever the poll was, I think it was top wick, bottom wick entries. So I'll be going over that today as well in another video. So a fun-packed Sunday, which you can all sort of kick back. I don't know what the weather's doing in the UK. Maybe it's barbecue weather. But whatever you've got going on, barbecue, fucking roast dinner, sit there, you've got a jam-packed day full of videos. But yeah, I will speak to you guys later on.